Hello, welcome. Today we have topic related to the safety precautions of the hose. We have another part one which was mentioning the what is the definition of hose, what are the important information should be imposed on a hose, and what are the parameters to inspect a hose. And today again welcome. Today our topic is safety precautions related to hose. So let's start the session. Learning outcomes. What are the learning outcomes of this session? Number one, why preventive maintenance of hose is important and required. Number two, hose storage. And number three, safety precautionary measures of hose. So the number one, why preventive maintenance of hose is required. An unexpected equipment failure can damage machine or equipment, stop production, and even cause injury or death. The main objective of preventive maintenance program is to identify component weakness before failure and loss of the production. That's why the preventive maintenance of the hose is very important like other equipments. It gives us information what are the shortcomings and mechanical parts are being defected so that before it gets failure and may cause for an accident, injury or fatality or even the major equipment damage, it advises us to repair and do the maintenance of that particular equipment. That's why in the same way the preventive maintenance of hose is very important. So we have a lot of hoses in our workplace. We should place and keep all the hoses in a proper way. And what is the standard procedure to store the hose? We will see in this session. The number one is store hose in a cool, dry room with moderate humidity. Store hose out of direct sunlight and away from heat sources. Number three, keep hose away from ozone sources such as arc welders, electric motors, transformers, and other electric equipment. Next one is store hose in original shipping container or wrapping to the protect from harmful environmental exposure. The next is hose should be stored in a first in, first out basis. Do not hang coiled hose on a hook. Do not stack hose too high. Excessive weight can crush and damage the hose at the bottom. The next point is hose shipped straight should be stored straight. Next is be careful when using knives or sharp tools to open packing materials. Whenever we receive the hose from the supplier, our crew members need to open that packing. So they use the sometimes knives and sharp tools. So be careful because if we don't take precaution, it can be reason or to cut our fingers and hand injury. So be careful in this time. What are the safety precautionary measures of the hose? Whenever we are using the hose at our work area, what are the safety points we should know? Those are the following. Number one is check hose cover damage, cuts, cracks, abrasion, exposed reinforcement, etc. Never inspect a hose for leaks by running your hand over it while it is under pressure or contains the material being transferred. Escaping fluid under high pressure can exert enough force to penetrate and cut flesh, causing painful and severe injury. Hot materials and chemicals can cause serious burns. So that's why we should never do the leak test by running our hand over the hose. Next point is always conduct close inspection of hose when pressure is released and the hose does not contain potentially dangerous materials. The next point is test only one hose at a time. Never exceed the rated working pressure of a hose. What is the advised working pressure of the hose that should not be exceeded? Never run over a hose with equipment or vehicles such as forklifts Never pull a hose by its coupling. Never overbend a hose to the point of kinking. Remove kinked or crushed hose from service immediately. Visual inspection and pressure test hose at regular intervals. And remember that whenever we are doing or concerned crew is doing the pressure test of the hose, they should never use any kind of chemical to for that activity. They have to use only water. Always use water. Never test with flammable or corrosive fluids, solvents, or compressed gas. The next point is hose under pressure can be dangerous, so make sure to take necessary safety precautions. Hose must be properly installed to prevent hazards and ensure long life. Use whip check for low pressure hoses less than 200 psi connection, and safety sling and safety clamp for high pressure hoses, the hoses which pressure is more than 200 psi. Never touch a pressurized hose assembly. Shut down the hydraulic system and relieve pressure before checking hose temperature. All air should be removed from the hose prior to test by bleeding the air through an outlet valve at the raised end of the hose. So I believe that we could learn something more about the how to store the hoses in our work area, and what are the safety points for related to the hose. Thank you very much.